saw The Hateful Eight today in 70 millimeters. And 70 millimeters means it's a bigger screen, more crisp images. Most films are filmed in 35 millimeters for those of you that did not know. And plus, seeing in 70 millimeters, you get this cool booklet, so it's like, why not? Anyways, Hateful Eight, it's the 8th film in Quentin Tarantino's filmography. And in doing this, he has kind of a following, and you can see it just by going to one of his movies, because it's a very interesting crowd. It's so many different people, and it's great to see that. I went into this, knowing it was a Western mystery, and I gotta say, I did find it enjoyable. The story simply follows 8 people, obviously, that are thrown into a cabin. 2 of them are bounty hunters, one of them's the bounty, and these 2 bounty hunters are working together, but they're trying to find out if that bounty, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh's character, if she has an accomplice. Is one of those 5 people an accomplice? Is 2 of them? Who knows? That's the great thing about this film. It's a mystery, and even by the time you reach the final act, you don't really know what's going to happen. And that's just great, great writing. The writing in this film is top-notch. I have not really seen a Quentin Tarantino film where I've listened to the dialogue and said, that just sounds off. The dialogue in his films are always top-notch. And his characters, as always, are very interesting. Jennifer Jason Leigh's character is very interesting, and her performance in the film is exceptionally interesting. She will get nominated for an Oscar. I guarantee it. She's excellent in the film. And Kurt Russell was also really good. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson. You can't beat him. Tim Roth was also really good. Michael Madsen. They were all good. The performances were all top-notch. Cinematography was, of course, it was filmed in 70 millimeters. That alone makes it reason enough to be good with cinematography. But it was also interesting with using the setting and getting you kind of claustrophobic. As far as the final act goes, a lot of you guys know that I oftentimes have problems with Quentin Tarantino's final acts. And that's not the case with this film. After the intermission, yes, there is an intermission, which is pretty cool. After the intermission, the final act was actually the best part about this film, because the mystery starts to unravel. You start realizing why the characters' motives are as such. And overall, as the final act's unraveling, you're kind of wondering, how's this going to go down? What is going to happen? And I just loved that. However, this leads me to the first 2 acts, which is the opposite of most Quentin Tarantino films. Most Quentin Tarantino films, the first 2 acts, I'm interested, and the final act, I just kind of like, wow, what did you just do? But it's the opposite with this film, because I think the first 2 acts, before intermission, I think that it was not as interesting as I had wanted it to be. Sure, the dialogue was interesting, but the characters didn't really do anything. The characters didn't really kind of build any tension. It was just like you're watching these people just talk. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in the case of this film, you want the characters to push aside and you want them to like move along, but that just doesn't really happen. And plus, this movie is 187 minutes, and I think easily they could have cut out 45 minutes and the film would have probably been excellent. But because of those 2 reasons, like, I took off points, and it really affected the film, because if you buy it on DVD and you're looking at the back cover and you're like, 187 minutes, most of the time you're not really going to want to watch it, because you'll be thinking in your mind, yeah, the first 2 acts weren't that good, but wow, that final act. So you'll probably just go like to the final act. And that's the case with this film. Would I rewatch it? Not necessarily. Would I watch the final act again? You betcha. This final act was something. I loved the final act. It really brought everything together. So I will be giving The Hateful Eight a 3.75 out of 5-star rating. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable film experience. I loved the experience, but I don't think it's an excellent film. I think it's just an enjoyable film. It's a fun time at the movies. Now, the year is coming to an end, so I will be trying to review 1 or 2 other films before the end of the year. So I'll probably be reviewing The Big Short, maybe something else. We'll see what I have up my sleeve. And of course, top 10 movies will be coming out in a couple weeks, so look for that as well. And guys, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.